Hi, I'm Christopher Lee May. I'm an author, a spiritual teacher, and a life coach. I'm also the president of 4gates.com. And I'm here today to audition for the Movers and Shakers online event or radio show. I'm really grateful to be here today, and I want to share with you a very powerful message that changed my life. The message is really simply this. Love and compassion has transformed my life in many, many ways. And I know I have a strong belief that if you apply what I'm teaching you today, it will gradually, day by day, transform your life as well. I want to tell you a short little story, and then at the end of this story, I'm going to share with you an exercise which will help you to take this into your own life and experiment with it, because it's only by experimenting with it, it's only by trying it, it's only by using it that you'll gain what you need from it and allow it to transform your life. A while ago, I used to be a volunteer with Hospice of the Valley. And Hospice, if you don't know, is end-of-care life for people who are at the end stage of life, and it supports them and their families. And I volunteered there once a week for about 3 to 4 hours a day on a Wednesday evening. So I showed up for my shift on Wednesday, and I got there a little bit late. And the patients had all eaten their dinner and were sort of settling in for the evening. So I went to the nurse's station, I checked in, I got a review and found out what was going on with all the patients. And then I went to the first room. The lights were down low, and I stood in the doorway to the hallway, and I looked into the first room. And what did I see? I saw an elderly gentleman, probably in his late 70s, maybe early 80s, but he looked rather in good health. He was laying in his bed, propped up on some pillows. It was totally quiet. I could see him, even though the lights were down in his room, I could see him from the shaft of light. And I didn't say anything for the first few seconds. I just wanted to kind of feel the space emotionally and check in with him before I said anything. And after about 10 seconds, he turned over and looked at me and he said, "Hello." And I said hello to him. And then I paused for a moment to see what he might need. And he said, after a pause of a few seconds, he said, "I'm really scared." And it took me by surprise for a moment, because I felt that was very vulnerable of him to do. We'd never met before. I'd never seen him before. He wasn't there the previous week. And I said to him in response, I understand how you'd feel that way right now, and it's okay to feel that way. And then he said something that was very interesting. He said, "I'm ready for this to be over." And by that, I think he meant he knew that he was about to pass away, and he was ready for his life to finish up the final chapter. And so I said to him in response, "I understand, and I think it'll be over very soon. When you're ready for your life to pass, you'll be okay and you'll pass." And he said, "Thank you." And then he said something that really surprised me. He said, "Can I have a hug?" Now, I was glad to have him receive a hug from me, but I'd never met him before and I didn't know him, and he said it in such a loving, tender way. He was asking for me to support him, and so I went up to him and I said, "Sure," and I put my arms around him. I had to lean over the bed and sort of cradle him in my arms, and he probably weighed about 175 or 80 pounds, and I sort of put my arm around his back and his neck, and I held him to my chest for about 15 or 20 seconds, kind of a real deep embrace. And then I sort of let him rest back on his pillows, and I said, "Is there anything I can do for you?" And he said, "No, thank you." And then he said, "I love you." Well, that was it. I mean, I didn't know this man, but I felt we had entered this space where there was this tremendous love and just a feeling of friendship between us. And so I said, "I love you too." And then I said goodnight to him, and I continued on to the next room. But I was surrounded by this feeling of just the warmth of human kindness and a feeling of love and compassion for him and what he must be going through at that moment. And what it did for me, that I hope it'll do for you, is it let me see that when we are real with each other, when we have these authentic moments, that the veil drops and we are all family, and there's this feeling of love and compassion that can flow easily between us. So my question is, how could this impact your life? What moments are there in your day where if you treated someone with just a little more loving kindness, might it transform you and your experience with this person that you're relating to in that moment? So what I'd like you to do is this. The next time you are facing a situation where there's potential tension or frustration, awaken a memory of this type of experience where you say, you know what, I'm going to treat this person with a little bit of loving kindness right now. Maybe they're having a tough day. Maybe they need my support and friendship in this moment. And when you give that to them, notice what you feel. And then go to my website, makingfriendswithangels.com, and send me a little email, or go to Facebook on my site, Making Friends with Angels there, and tell me how this impacts you. I want to know. So thank you for listening. This is Christopher Lee May, and I hope you've enjoyed and benefited from this. And I want you to put a little bit of loving kindness and compassion in your day every day, and then let me know how it's going for you. I hope it transforms your life and brings you great peace and happiness. Thank you for listening. Take care.